Hi there and welcome back to Japan, where the never-ending game of what the hell am I wearing continues. Let me assure you that none of this is a fashion statement, it is a not being naked on camera statement. And that is all. So anyway, we're going to be checking out another. We've been listening to a lot of artists for the first time recently. We've got some regular artists who we listen to over and over again on this channel who we love, but it's been nice to bring in some extra artists as well, because this channel is much about delving into artists who we enjoy. It's also about finding artists who are new and, inviting their fans over to the channel, increasing the conversation. And here's one that's come up a lot in our live streams, and people keep on saying, hey, Howard, you should check it out. And it's always the usual suspects. So I'm finally getting around to checking it out. It is a band called, let me read the Japanese, CHARAN Po RANTAN. CHARAN Po RANTAN. And the name has more kanji in it than I dare approach. But the opening screen here, which I've got freeze framed, getting ready to go, says, go ahead, even you sometimes run away. So a reassuring approach to English. Anyway, I'm looking forward to this. I can already see it looks quite colourful, and I as I always say, we know this if you've been viewing the channel for a while, I'm as much into my pop as I am into my rock as I am into my metal. I'm into pretty much every genre, so I'm just really looking forward to seeing what we get here. Judging by the name, I'm hoping it's going to be quite crazy. Alright, let's go, and then we'll talk more afterwards. Well, that's a good start. Oh, that's beautiful. It's been a while since I've heard accordion used effectively in pop. She's got wonderful vocal control. Love the way she's expressing the melody. So is the band just the two girls? That's a fantastic duet if it is. Oh, I love this. I love how crazy and quirky it is. I love anything that has unexpected sounds and instruments in it, I'm always for. It's like French ska J-pop. Oh, I love it. I love it. The lyrics are like really perfunctory, basic statements. Like, hello, goodbye, how are you, what are you doing? The tone is wonderful. So jolly. And it's quite catchy. It's starting to get an earworm effect on with time. It's like bordering on creepy with the little pizzicato strings and the glass taps on the front. Okay, I know why you guys have been recommending that now. That is, that is very me. That appeals very much to my biases, shall we say. Wonderfully jolly. I mean, when it comes to I mean, I've always said I'm into pop. Like I said, many other genres. With every genre, you have that particular reason why you like it, that particular style of each genre you like. When it comes to pop, the reason why I like pop is because pop, unlike I think any other genre, is almost by definition unlimited. You can say with things, that metal song, oh, that's not metal. That rock song, that's not rock. That's not jazz. That's not hip hop. With pop, it's very hard to say that's not pop. Pop basically just means you're trying to make something which is generally appealing. You're trying to make something that is perhaps maybe not so niche, but just has a grander appeal. Therefore, it is the most unlimited genre. And where that really comes in is you can use sounds in pop that you just cannot really get away with so easily in other genres. And in metal, if you use like one specific sound that doesn't appear normally in metal, that creates an entire subset of metal, and then it creates its own genre. So, oh, this metal has rap in it, therefore it is new metal, and you get all these kind of weird things. Rap has trap, and you have old school hip hop and new school hip hop, and all these kinds of things. Whereas pop's just kind of pop. I know there are variants on it as well, but as a general, people just feel more comfortable just referring to all popsy things as pop. Now that's where this band really appeals to my biases. Now, I'm getting the feeling from looking at the way it's set up, and like I said, I never pre-research these things. I give my honest opinion as someone who has worked with music for years, but you guys know more about the artist, so I want you to tell me whether I'm guessing these things right or wrong when I talk about this stuff. But I'm guessing that the idea is this is a duet. One of them's a singer, and the other one basically is just like a sound crafter. And you get these kind of bands sometimes where one person does the singing and the fronting, and the other one just creates everything, like a sort of an audio artist. I guess that's a rather generic term, but you know what I mean. A creator, a crafter of sound. And that's what it looks like is going on here, because I love the way that she starts on the accordion, and then she breaks down to doing all these other things like the little taps and stuff. Now, incidentally, if you're wondering with the accordion, you might be aware that French culture and Japanese culture is kind of like a subset interest in French culture in Japan. We've probably all seen on the stereotypical stage, there's that sort of Lolita cutesy fashion thing that's popular in places like Harajuku. That's obviously based off French culture, as is all the whole maid's outfit thing. But also they have an interest in sort of like French food, like bakeries are really popular in Japan. As you know, if you've ever been there, French style bakeries, very popular. And they also, it's very common to learn accordion in school, believe it or not, in France. Now, as a result, so it's not that amazingly out of place to see someone in a song playing accordion, but at the same time, even though a lot of people can play the accordion, comparatively a lot of people can play accordion in Japan, it's amazing that you don't hear that sound and see that instrument more in Japanese pop music. So it was still very refreshing to see that. I love that way that worked. And then going to the little glass tap thing, such a beautiful choice. Really love that they did that. I don't know if that's necessarily how they recorded it exactly that way, but I wouldn't be surprised. It sounded like that was just a really well recorded set of glasses that they filled up and tuned perhaps, but probably did it that way. But either way, it sounded really great. That was two little examples, but all the way through, the way that the brass worked, it was basically a fairly normal ska backing, but it was lively. There was little interesting sound shifts. The writing of the song, again, was relatively simple. It was more focused on the sounds it used than particularly threading a complicated melody or chord pattern, but that worked. It kept you interested with the amount of things that were happening. And I must say, I really want to give huge credit, because so much of interest was happening in the sound, and especially, like I say, appealing to my personal biases, that it would be so easy to overlook actually one of the most amazing things about this song, which was the singer. She might not have the most amazing voice ever. I mean, she's got a lovely voice, but it might not be like one of the greatest singers of all time. But her vocal control was just brilliant. I mean, if you listen to like the way that she was accenting things, the pressure she was using, the way that she was moving from one note to the next, that was really, really good singing. I mean, she beautifully crafted the vocal line. So, interesting enough, although on the obvious sense, the member who was doing the audio stuff, all the instrumentation, she had more of an obvious impact on this wonderfully unique sound. A lot of credit to the singer for just being so really good at pulling that off. I mean, you could have easily had that song released with a rather bland, simply layered vocal by an average singer over the top and got away with it. but she really got something subtle out of that maybe a more casual listener wouldn't notice, but I think that a lot of credit to both of them. I'm really impressed. Yes, I know that at the core, this is basically a simple ska song. There's not anything immediately, obviously, world-changingly unique or special about this, and yet I just love the approach. Like I say, I love the skill of the people involved. I love the fact that the singer is sung with such delicacy and such skill. I love the fact that the member, who I'm assuming is in charge of the sort of production, the instrumentation and the arrangement, has been so creative and so quirky with the sounds used. And I love the fact that they've still managed to make it catchy. So, artists, it's all about making entertaining sound. That's all music is. And there's so many ways to achieve that. So, although at the core, this is very simple, and you could say it's just a disposable pop song at the core, they've really dressed it up in just a fantastic way. I love what they've done with it, and I love the attitude. I love the whole way they've approached this. So as I always say, with groups like this with an interesting sound when you hear them for the very first time, and we recently had that group, I Love Me, who, similar arrangement, I mean, a bigger band, I think there's 4 of them, but similar thing where they got basically a singer and then the people behind seem to be multi-instrumentalists. I'm going to say the same thing for this that I said when I first heard them, which is that I really like this. It does set the bar high as a first song, so I can't wait to hear more. But I'm interested because they clearly have the ability to craft such unique sounds, as is often a ability of pop bands, more often pop groups, pop bands. I would be really interested to see, do they kind of stick to this rough sort of ska treatment, this happy, fun ska treatment, or are they really able to mix things up and go for some really different and bizarre sort of variations, different sounds? Are they really able to do different things with this setup that they have? Because it seems like a very freeing and liberating one that they got there. So anyway, if you were a fan, then school me on anything I might have got wrong, confirm anything I might have got right, and please feel free to recommend more songs. As we always say, I mentioned this in the final title card that comes up with the links to the videos and everything, but there are links in the description below, and if you are going to recommend songs, then if you do it on our Reddit, you are much more likely to get through to me. I do try and read all the YouTube comments, but just due to the way that YouTube works, sometimes things can skip under the radar and that you don't always get enough time to copy everything down when you're working. So please feel free to get in contact with me, because I'm really looking forward to seeing the comments anyway and trying to get back to as many of you as I can. But for now, from Japan, and until I listen to this band again, which I certainly will, ciao ciao. Thanks for watching. Feel free to check out more of our hundreds of videos we got online on this channel right now, or get involved in the discussion with us at the many social media links we've got in the description below, where you can suggest new videos and artists for us to check out on the channel. Or you can just do the usual YouTube stuff and comment, like, subscribe. You know how this works by now.